There's a moment before lightning touches the earth, a silence, a breath held by the sky. It is in that moment everything listens, everything waits. Have you ever felt like life was holding its breath for you, that the universe was pausing time because something was about to awaken inside you? Today, I speak to the chosen one, not a myth, not a story, but you, the one who survived what others never even saw, the one whose name heaven has not forgotten. And I bring an emergency alert from your future to your present. Don't be afraid. Not of July 15, not of July 16, not of July 17, because these are not ordinary days. These are awakening days. But before you awaken, I must ask you a question. When the world around you breaks, will you break with it? Or will you rise from the rubble like something ancient and powerful returning to its true form? Let me tell you a story. There was once a monk who was buried alive, not in dirt, but in doubt. People had told him, "You are too quiet to lead, too calm to shake the world." And so he sat in silence until one day a fire lit in his chest, not of anger, but of remembrance. Remembered who he was. Not a name, not a title, but a force. And he rose, not with noise, but with purpose. This is your story now. Let me walk with you. Let us awaken together. The title, Chosen One, is not handed to you like a gift. It's not something written on your birth certificate, not something you find in your job title or social media bio. It's not a name others call you. It's what your soul remembers. And it is earned, slowly, painfully, honestly. It is earned through what you've endured. The heartbreaks no one saw, the silent battles you fought when no one cheered, the nights you collapsed under the weight of it all, but still found a way to rise with the sun. You didn't ask for this path, but it called you. And while others turned away, you kept walking, sometimes limping, sometimes crawling, but walking still. Because the truth is, not everyone survives what you did. Some gave up, and we don't blame them. Some got lost in bitterness, trapped in stories that sounded like, "Why me?" Some were broken, not just emotionally, but spiritually. They became shells of who they were meant to be. But you refused to disappear. Yes, you doubted yourself. Yes, questioned your worth. But through it all, you kept breathing. You kept waking up. You kept trying. Even when nothing made sense, that is what makes you chosen. Not perfection, persistence. Not the absence of pain, your decision to carry it with grace. And I want to ask you this, from one soul to another. What if the storm that nearly broke you was never sent to destroy you? What if it was the very thing that shaped you? You see, storms don't come to quiet lives. They come to awaken them. They come to those with buried power, to those who carry a purpose too great to remain asleep. The thunder you heard wasn't a warning. It was a summoning. Because sometimes the only way to uncover your strength is to be placed in situations where weakness seems like the only option. But you didn't collapse into weakness. You discovered your strength. You remembered your voice. You rose. And yes, the process hurt. It burned your illusions. It peeled away your comfort. It made you question everything you thought you knew. But in that unraveling, something beautiful began, a different kind of listening, a deeper kind of knowing. The calling on your life was always there, but it took pain to purify your hearing. It took silence to teach you how to listen. It took grief to show you what matters. It took fire to melt away everything that wasn't real, so only the truth could remain. So when the calling came, not as a loud voice, but as a still whisper, you could finally recognize it. That whisper that says, "You are not done. You were never forgotten. What happened to you is nothing compared to what will happen through you." And I know, At times, you still wonder, if I am chosen, why do I feel so broken? If I am chosen, why has this journey been so hard? But here is the sacred truth. Being chosen does not mean being spared. It means being trusted. Trusted with the weight, trusted with the fire, trusted to carry a light in places so dark others couldn't survive them. Because you were never meant to live an average life. You were meant to awaken others, to be the walking evidence that healing is possible, that rising is possible, that breaking is not the end. It's the beginning of a becoming. You cried, yes, but you kept listening, even through the tears. And that is rare, that is sacred, that is powerful. So hear me clearly, you were not abandoned, you were not punished, you were not overlooked. You were activated by pain, by purpose, by love that refused to let you stay asleep. And now it's your time, not to explain yourself, not to prove yourself, but to embrace what has always been within you. You are not rising into your destiny, you are remembering it. The world will try to make you forget, but your spirit knows, your scars know. And deep down, you know, you didn't just survive the storm, you became something sacred because of it. You are the storm's gift, or the chosen one. In this age, everything demands urgency. Success must be instant. Healing must be fast. Identity must be branded before it's even understood. We scroll through lives. We swipe through dreams. We want the promise without the process, the glory without the growth. But your soul was never in a rush, because your soul remembers something this world forgets. That timing is not just about when something happens. It's about who you are when it does. You see, we often look at delay as rejection. We think silence means we've been forgotten. We think waiting means we've missed our chance. But what if the delay was never punishment? What if it was preparation? There were things you prayed for, doors you begged to be opened, opportunities you cried out for. You looked around and saw others getting ahead, faster, easier, with less pain. And you wondered, what about me? Did I do something wrong? But here is the truth. Some things are not denied. They are delayed until your inner self matches the weight of the blessing, because power in the hands of someone unprepared is not a gift. It's a weapon. It's fire in the hands of a child. It's a crown worn on a fractured identity. And the divine, in its mercy, will not let you self-destruct, so it waits. Not because it doesn't love you, but because it loves you too much to let you succeed before you're stable, to let you lead before you've healed, to let you be seen before you've found your center. There are people who rose too fast and collapsed, people who got everything they wanted, but lost themselves in the process, people who built a life but couldn't live it, because their foundation was still shaking. But you were being grounded, you were being aligned. The healing you thought was late was making you whole. The recognition you thought was missing was teaching you to see yourself. The silence you thought was cruel was the very space where your wisdom grew. The world taught you to sprint, but your spirit was training you to stand. Because when your time comes, you must not just arrive, you must be ready. Not perfect, not fearless, but anchored. Look at the trees. The tallest ones took the longest to grow. Why? Because their roots had to stretch deep before they could reach high. That was you. While others were being seen, you were being sown. Buried, not forgotten. Hidden, not rejected. Held back only to be hurled forward at the right time. And what is the right time? It is when you no longer need what you once chased. It is when the applause doesn't define you. It is when peace matters more than popularity. It is when you've become the kind of person who can carry the blessing without being crushed by it. So the delay was divine design. It wasn't the door slamming shut. It was the ground being prepared beneath your feet. It was the divine saying, not yet. Not because I'm withholding, but because I'm building. Building your discernment, building your inner peace, building your ability to recognize real love, real worth, real destiny. And now the season has changed. You feel it, not on a calendar, not from a forecast, but inside you. Something is shifting. What once felt distant now feels possible. What once felt unreachable now feels within your grasp, not because it got smaller, but because you got stronger. The foundation beneath you is no longer sand. It is stone. The delay has done its work. The preparation is complete. Now you can carry what once would have crushed you. Now you can walk through doors you used to doubt. Now the time has come, and when you move not with desperation, but with certainty, because you are not late. You are on time, right on time. The world may have rushed ahead, but destiny waited for you. Fear is a voice you know well. It shows up quietly at first, then grows louder when you begin to dream. It never shouts hope. It whispers hesitation, and the whispers sound like truth. This is too big. What if you fail? Who do you think you are? Better stay small, stay safe, stay silent. But here is what they never told you: fear is not your enemy. It is a part of you. And like every part of you, it serves a purpose, but only when kept in its proper place. Fear is not here to destroy you. It is here to show you what matters. You only fear the things that carry meaning. You don't fear walking into an empty room. Fear stepping into the arena of your purpose. Because something in you knows, once you do, everything changes. Every great warrior, before stepping into battle, felt fear. Every monk, before taking his first vow, trembled. Every teacher, before their first lesson, doubted. Even the masters were once afraid of the very path they would later master. But they didn't wait for fear to disappear. They moved with it. They said, "You can come along for the journey, but you cannot hold the map. You may walk beside me, but you will not speak for me." And this chosen one is the shift. We often believe that confidence means being fearless. But that is a myth. True courage is not born in the absence of fear. It is born in the presence of it. You will feel fear when your dream becomes real. You will feel fear when the old version of you begins to dissolve. You will feel fear when you choose truth over comfort. You will feel fear every time you get close to the edge of transformation. And yet you must step. This July, as the days rise with awakening energy, you will be tested not by others, but by your own inner walls. The voices that tell you to shrink, to delay, to wait until you're ready, but listen closely. You don't overcome fear by fighting it. You overcome fear by refusing to obey it. Speak to your fear gently but firmly. "I see you. I hear you. But I will not follow you." And then act anyway, even if your knees tremble, even if your voice shakes, even if your heart pounds. That act, that step, that breath in the midst of resistance is courage. It is not a feeling. It is a choice. And every time you choose it, your fear loses a little of its power. Not because it disappears, but because you've remembered who's in charge. You are not here to live in safety. You are here to live in truth. And truth will cost you your comfort, but it will give you your soul. There's a moment in the life of every warrior where they stop waiting for the fear to go away, and they start walking through it. That is the moment they become who they were meant to be. This is your moment. Don't try to silence the fear. Instead, move with it. Let it teach you where your values live. Let it show you where your breakthroughs wait. Let it point you toward your purpose, not away from it. Because the presence of fear doesn't mean something is wrong. Sometimes it means you're finally heading in the right direction. So take the leap, make the call, speak the truth, write the vision, build the dream. Step forward, not when fear is gone, but because you're no longer willing to be ruled by it. And when fear whispers again, as it always will, let your courage respond. You may walk with me, but you do not lead. This is not just bravery. This is mastery. And mastery is what you were born for. Every transformation, no matter how beautiful the result, begins in discomfort. It begins with disruption. Something stable has to break. Something quiet must scream. Something old must die for something new to live. We often look at pain as a sign that something's wrong, that we've taken the wrong path, that life has betrayed us. But what if pain isn't a punishment? What if it's a passage? A caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly through a gentle unfolding. It dissolves. It completely melts inside the cocoon. Its identity, its shape, its very form must vanish so something higher can emerge. It doesn't look pretty, doesn't feel safe. It feels like loss. But it is not death, it is rebirth. The seed does not sprout by staying whole, must split open. The shell must give way. And in that breaking, life begins. Growth begins. The roots are sent deep and the stem rises into light. Not because the seed held itself together, but because it allowed itself to be undone. Your pain is not meaningless. It's not random. Your pain, especially the one you've been feeling lately, is not the end. It is the labor. It is the birth canal of your becoming. You are not just moving into a new season. You are birthing a new version of yourself, one who remembers their strength, their beauty, their divine identity. This is not about getting a promotion or starting a new chapter. This is about awakening to your original self, the self before the fear, before the heartbreak, before the world told you who you were supposed to be. That awakening does not come easily. It comes through the shaking, through the tears at midnight, through the days when everything inside you says, I can't keep going, and yet you do. Because something ancient in you knows this pain is not here to kill you. It's here to deliver you, and you don't have to fight it. You don't have to fear it. You have to speak to it. You say to the pain, I see you, I feel you, but I know what you are. You are not my end. You are my beginning. You are not here to destroy me. You are the fire that will refine me. When a woman gives birth, the pain is unimaginable. Her body is pushed beyond what she thought it could handle. She screams, she bleeds, she weeps, and yet she pushes, not because it's easy, but because there is life on the other side of that pain. So is it with your transformation. You are not weak for hurting. You are strong for not giving up during it. You're in the middle of something holy, something sacred. It doesn't look like success. It doesn't feel like joy, but it is the place where the old you dissolves and the real you emerges. Pain has a voice, and so does purpose. Pain says, stay small. Hide. This is too much. Purpose says, keep going. Push. There is more waiting for you. And your soul, your deep, knowing soul, knows which voice to follow. So don't curse the pain. Don't run from it. Hold it. Let it speak. Let it move through you. Let it do what it came to do. And then let it leave. Because this pain is not permanent. It is seasonal. But what it births in you will last forever. A deeper peace, a stronger presence, a courage that's no longer borrowed from books and quotes, but grown from within your bones. You're not just surviving this, you're being shaped by it. And when the labor ends, When the new version of you opens their eyes and takes their first breath, you will realize it was worth it. Every tear, every lonely night, every "why is this happening to me?" Every time you thought it was over was really just the beginning. So breathe, beloved soul. Breathe through the breaking. The midwife is here. The light is coming. This pain, it is not here to kill you. It is here to deliver you. There is no battleground more sacred, more powerful, or more dangerous than your mind. Every action you take, every step you avoid, every dream you reach for or shrink away from begins first with a thought. What you think becomes what you do. What you dwell on becomes what you attract. Your thoughts are not just echoes in your head. They are the architects of your reality. But here's the quiet truth. Most people miss your mind is not a landfill. It is a temple. And just like a temple, it must be guarded, kept clean, kept holy. Because when the sacred becomes polluted, everything that flows from it, words, actions, energy becomes tainted. July 15, 16, and 17 are not ordinary days. They are spiritual checkpoints, portals of pressure and possibility. You'll notice it not in dramatic outer events, but in whispers that reach for your inner world. Whispers like, nothing is changing. You're still stuck. You're alone. You're cursed. You're too late. You're not ready. These are not your truths. They are mental weeds, and if you're not alert, they will take root, choking your clarity and confidence. The mind left unguarded becomes home to every lie ever whispered in pain, in fear, in trauma. But you are not here to live on autopilot. You are here to wake up, to clean house, to take back control of the one space no one can invade without permission, your inner world. Your mind is the master key to your next level. The energy you emit, the frequency you radiate, the clarity you carry, it all begins with the thoughts you entertain. This is not fantasy. This is spiritual law. And here's how you begin to protect this sacred ground. Start your day before the world can get to you. Before your phone starts buzzing, before the news tells you who to be afraid of, before your memories of past failures wake up beside you. Start with silence, start with breath, breathe in deeply, not just to fill your lungs, but to return to you, the real you, the centered, quiet, ancient you who existed before the world told you what was possible. And then speak truth, not feelings. Truth. Say out loud, even if your voice trembles, I am rising. I am chosen. I am enough. And if your mind answers back with doubt, say it again. Not because repetition is magic, but because the soul believes what it hears often enough. The toxic thoughts didn't arrive all at once. They built themselves slowly. They made nests out of repetition. So too must your truth rebuild, thought by thought, word by word, moment by moment. Because this isn't just about positive thinking. This is about mental warfare. Every dream lives or dies in the soil of the mind. Every calling is either watered with clarity or drowned in confusion. Your future is already alive, in another dimension, in another vibration. But whether you align with it or repel, it depends on what you allow to take root inside your mind. So protect it, not just once, but daily, relentlessly. You wouldn't allow strangers to vandalize your home. Why let toxic thoughts vandalize your peace? You wouldn't eat spoiled food every day and expect to be healthy. Why consume poisoned thoughts and expect a life of power? Be ruthless with what you allow inside. If a thought enters that makes you feel small, unworthy, cursed, stop. Ask it, who sent you? Who benefits from my shrinking? Because the truth is, you are not your thoughts. You are the observer, the gatekeeper, the chooser. And you get to choose again. Right now, in this very moment. Choose silence over noise. Choose stillness over chaos. Choose presence over panic. Choose love over fear. Choose truth over trauma. Because when your mind becomes clear, aligned, clean, heaven moves, doors open, patterns break, opportunities appear, people shift, because the world you see is a reflection of the world within. So as you walk through July 15, 16, and 17, walk like someone who has guarded their inner temple, someone who knows the most powerful battles are not fought in public, but won in silence. Your mind is sacred. Guard it, clean it, speak life into it, and watch what happens when you finally rise. Not because the world told you to, but because your mind became ready for the life you were always meant to live. There is a difference between hope and faith. Hope waits. Hope looks to the horizon and says, maybe something will change. It hangs on by a thread. It survives. It endures. And hope is beautiful. But it is not enough, because there comes a time in every journey where hope must transform into something deeper, something unshakable, something fierce. That something is faith. Faith does not wait for signs. Faith moves before the path is clear. Faith is not guessing. Faith is knowing, without proof, without evidence, without validation. And during these 3 days, July 15, 16, and 17, your knowing must outshine your seeing, because there will be moments that test you, moments when everything around you seems still, lifeless, unchanging, moments when nothing looks like it's working, when your mind says, this is pointless, when your circumstances scream, you're stuck. But your faith, true faith, says otherwise. Faith says, even if nothing looks different, everything is shifting. Faith says, I move not because I see. I move because I know. Faith says, I wasn't brought this far to drown on the shore. Faith says, I didn't endure all this just to turn back now. There is something holy that happens when you decide to trust the unseen, when you plant your feet in peace while the winds howl. When you walk forward, even in darkness, guided by the small flame inside that refuses to die. That flame is your stillness, because faith doesn't always feel like thunder. It doesn't always roar. Sometimes faith is simply the refusal to panic, the decision to be still, even when everything in you wants to run, retreat, or collapse. Stillness is not passivity, it is power. The kind of power that says, I don't have to fight this. I don't have to force it. I just have to trust what's already unfolding. Look back at your life. Really look. How many times were you on the edge of giving up, only to have a breakthrough on the other side? How many storms did you think would drown you? But they passed, and you were stronger. That wasn't luck. That was faith carrying you, even when you didn't realize it. And now, again, you are in the in, between the promise and the manifestation, between the seed and the bloom, between the whisper and the thunder. In that place, your greatest weapon is not effort, it is belief. Because the universe does not respond to desperation. It responds to alignment, and faith aligns you with the outcome before the outcome arrives. Faith prepares the house before the guest knocks at the door. Faith dances before the music starts playing. Do you have that kind of faith? The kind that says, even if I feel afraid, I will still trust? The kind that says, even if I don't see the path, I will still walk? The kind that says, even in the silence, I know something sacred is happening? Because that kind of faith is fire. And fire does not apologize for its heat. This world will try to make you cold. It will try to steal your belief. It will try to convince you that if you don't see it, it's not real. But remember, everything visible was first invisible. Everything built was first imagined. Everything born was first believed in the dark. You don't need to see the full picture. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to trust what you've already heard. The divine did not whisper, rise into your spirit for you to shrink. It did not bring you to this threshold to abandon you now. So when doubt comes, and it will, you don't have to fight it. Just don't believe it. Speak to it gently but firmly. I hear you, but I no longer serve you. I remember who I am. I trust the process, even in the dark, and keep moving. Keep breathing. Keep choosing stillness over fear. Because when this season ends, and it will, the dust will clear, and you'll look back at the fire you walked through and realize that it wasn't you that burned. It was your doubt, your fear, your old self, the smallness that once fit you but never served you. Faith was always the flame, and now you carry it within you. Let it lead. There are moments in life that feel ordinary. They pass like any other day, blending into the noise, the routines, the distractions. You wake up, go through the motions, and lie down again. Another 24 hours gone. Another heartbeat unnoticed. But then there are other moments that vibrate with something unseen. Moments where time is no longer measured in minutes, but in meaning. This is one of those moments. This is not just a motivational speech. This is not a feel-good message to temporarily lift your spirit. This is an activation. There is something you were meant to do, and not in some distant, ideal future where everything is perfect. Not when you feel ready, not when your confidence catches up, but now, July 15, July 16, July 17. These are not just dates on a calendar. They are doorways. They are coded moments in time. They are spiritual appointments you didn't even know you had. You have arrived. And the question is not, will something happen? The question is, will you move when the door opens? Because this is not about external signs. It's not about lightning bolts or sudden miracles falling from the sky. It's about your response, your alignment, your yes. There's something you've been carrying, a decision unmade, a dream shelved, a truth unsaid, a weight you were never meant to hold this long. And you've been waiting for the right time to act. This is that time. The voice in your head will try to argue. But what if it's the wrong move? What if I'm not ready? What if I fail? What if it doesn't change anything? But hear this clearly. The only wrong move is no move at all. You don't have to leap a mountain today. You don't have to change the entire course of your life in one breath. But you must move, even if it's a step, even if it's a whisper of action, even if it's simply releasing something that's been weighing you down. Because movement births momentum, and once you move, the spiritual machinery around you begins to shift. Opportunities start to flow. Inner clarity deepens, and most of all, the part of you that's been sleeping awakens. You know the one I'm talking about, the real you, the forgotten you, the part of you you buried just to survive, the child, the visionary, the fearless dreamer, the bold speaker, the artist, the healer, the warrior. That version of you didn't die, it just went into hiding, waiting for you to feel safe enough, strong enough, ready enough to call it back. And now, right now, is when you call it back. You do this not with words alone, but with action. You send the message to your own soul, I'm no longer waiting. I'm no longer watching from the sidelines of my own life. I'm no longer giving my power away to fear, to doubt, to delay. Because something ancient knows, when you act from your truth, the universe responds in kind, not just around you, within you. You'll feel it, a click, a current, a rush of clarity. Not because the world suddenly changed, but because you did. You took your power back. You remembered. You rose. And when you rise, the world feels it. not because you shouted, but because your frequency changed. There are people who will never meet you, but they will be touched by the ripple of your activation, because when one soul wakes up, others remember what waking feels like. So whatever it is, make the call, write the words, speak the truth, leave what is killing your spirit, start what you've been postponing, choose the thing that's been calling your name in the quiet. This is the moment, this is the door, and you are not here to knock, you are here to walk through. Dear chosen one, you are not who you were, not anymore. You didn't listen to this by accident. This was your reminder, your prophecy, your mirror. You are not behind. You are becoming. You are not cursed. You are carved by destiny. You are not broken. You are breaking through. So stand tall. Let the fear speak. Then walk anyway. Let the doubt scream. Then act anyway. Let the pain ache. But rise anyway. Because you are the one heaven is watching, and all of nature is silent waiting to see what you will become, not someday, but now. Because July 15, 16, and 17 were not sent to scare you. They were sent to awaken you. This is your alert. This is your time. Go. Become. Shine.